Freedom Cruiser Gone Rogue. How one entitled neighbor turned my DEA lab into a federal crisis. The scent of cheap margaritas still hung in the air. When my phone rang, "Your camper's gone." I thought it was a joke until I saw the photo. Brenda, oversized sunglasses, straw hat, in a tank top that read Hot Mess Express, was posing with a margarita in one hand, her tiny dog in the other, standing proudly in front of my DEA mobile lab. She'd captioned it, "Road tripping in style, baby." That's when I realized Brenda hadn't just taken my camper. She'd hijacked an active federal operations lab, crossed state lines, and live-streamed the whole thing for every cartel surveillance network to see. Let's rewind. I'm not your average guy with a weekend RV. I'm a field technician for the Drug Enforcement Agency, embedded in a mobile surveillance unit. My vehicle may have looked like a battered camper on the outside, but inside, it held forensic gear, surveillance tech, secure data uplinks, the kind of hardware that doesn't just disappear without a dozen people in Washington noticing. My cover in Lark's Estates was simple: a quiet federal agriculture consultant with a love of solo camping. I played the role well, grew out a beard, wore bucket hats, kept to myself. No one, not even the HOA, knew what that vehicle actually was. No one but Brenda, or at least she thought she did. She'd been griping about the camper since I moved in. "It's an eyesore," she complained, "too close to the sidewalk." "What are you doing in there, cooking meth?" She laughed, like it was a joke. It wasn't. I always responded politely but firmly. "It's not safe. It's federal property. Please don't go near it." But Brenda, she was the kind of person who saw rules as optional, especially if she thought she could twist them in her favor. She'd been fined for everything: illegal rose bushes, hosting a New Year's party in someone else's driveway. Once, she even planted a pink plastic flamingo in my flower bed, a passive-aggressive protest. The week before the theft, Brenda got especially nosy. She caught sight of me loading a secure sample case into the camper. "Going fishing?" she chirped. I didn't answer. What I'd actually loaded was a fentanyl derivative from a recent bust. Dangerous stuff. The lab was secure. Biometric locks, hidden jeeps, motion sensors. Still, I added an alert to my phone, just in case. 3 days later, that alert triggered, and that was just the beginning. The footage wasn't perfect, but it was enough. Brenda, toolbox in hand, opening the gate, punching in a code, entering the lab. Later, I learned she'd watched me enter but once, pretending to walk her dog. Then guessed the rest from keypad smudges. The gall was infuriating. The implications? Catastrophic. That camper held encrypted cartel data, names, coordinates, intel tied to a sensitive Gulf operation. This wasn't just theft anymore. It was an intelligence breach. I called my handler. "You need to track it." "We've already seen it," she interrupted. She posted it on TikTok. The video showed Brenda and her friends, Cheryl and Tanya, sipping margaritas inside my mobile lab, laughing about the comfy leather seats. My red alert monitors blinked in the background. One woman used the forensic workstation as a snack tray. She'd unplugged the GPS, called it the beeping annoyance, and covered the plates with a beach towel. But what she didn't know was that the system still pinged satellite bursts whenever it detected movement. That gave us partial glimpses: a fireworks stand, a beach motel, a discount spa. It was like Real Housewives meets national security. The agency panicked because the camper had been flagged as temporarily inactive for local ops. It wasn't under 24/7 guard. My assumption that no one would be dumb enough to steal it had become a national liability. Worse, Brenda had no clue what she was messing with. She thought she'd won some HOA war about RVs. Meanwhile, the cartel we'd been monitoring started reacting. Comments started flooding our encrypted feed in Spanish. "That's the van, find her." My handler looked up from her screen. "You'll love this. She just geotagged herself at the Blue Water Parade in Sable County. She was wearing DEA sunglasses. From the glove box, I nearly flipped the table. She was out in public, wearing government gear, with cartel lookouts watching online. I volunteered to extract, not out of revenge, but because this was no longer about HOA drama. It was damage control. Now, Brenda's road trip wasn't going to end in Facebook rants or warning letters. If we weren't careful, it was going to end in blood. By the time I boarded the surveillance chopper, she had already posted 2 more videos. One from the lab's shower, another from the rooftop ladder yelling, "America, baby!" I muttered to my pilot, "She's officially the most dangerous idiot in the country." The camper had a new name now. Freedom Cruiser, Brenda's proud creation. She cruised down Route 17, smoothie in one hand, phone in the other, her friends tossing trail mix around like it was a yoga retreat. She had no idea. The fridge was actually a compound stabilizer. The cool drawers, filled with narcotic samples from a cartel border bust. And every button she pushed triggered passive security logs. She was setting off red flags like fireworks on the 4th of July. Meanwhile, the agency was moving. We tracked her to a gas station in Little Haven. A known cartel associate had been spotted nearby. I arrived in Sable County and met with the local deputy, Marty, a man shaped like a donut and equally round in thought. "She stole what now?" "A mobile DEA lab," I said. He blinked. "She's toast." We monitored her next post, Brenda tagging herself at a bingo parlor/foot spa. One friend had already opened a labeled container and spilled heat-sealed narcotics across the carpet. At HQ, analysts freaked. One video showed Brenda panning across the lab's tech, zooming in on a blinking laptop. That laptop held informant records. She giggled. "This thing looks straight out of Z." We knew it couldn't go further. My handler's voice cut through. "Next stop, Pelican Shore Beach Carnival." She posted it. "We're bringing the party to the sand, babes." But the video revealed something else. A still figure in the crowd. Dark sunglasses, phone raised, a cartel scout. We upgraded the mission from track and monitor to intercept and contain. We coordinated with local officers. A soft perimeter around the carnival. No sirens, no panic, just cover and retrieval. Then came the moment. The camper rolled in like a clown car crashing a Bond movie. Glitter streamers, inflatable flamingos, techno music. Brenda's freedom bus had arrived. She gave a speech from a folding table. "Let this be the time we reclaim freedom from hoes and curfews." The crowd cheered, thinking it was performance art, but I saw the signs. 2 scouts, opposite ends, phones, earpieces. They weren't waiting for Brenda. They were waiting for the camper. And then it happened. Brenda went live again, streaming from the back of the camper, showing off her cool secret storage drawer. She pried open a secured vault panel using a metal spatula. Inside, dozens of high-grade vials tumbled onto the floor. My handler's voice snapped through my earpiece. "Contain it now!" I signaled Deputy Marty. He clicked his radio. Our agents moved into position. Soft, coordinated, like a net tightening. I approached from behind. Brenda was mid-live stream. "Oh, look, it's Mr. Grumpy Camper." She laughed. I didn't speak. I reached forward and shut off her live stream. The mood shifted. Brenda blinked. "Wait, is this about the camper?" I replied flatly. "Brenda, you stole a federal mobile lab. You tampered with narcotics. You exposed classified files, and you brought it to a public beach." She shrugged, half laughing. "It was unlocked. You pried the gate open with a crowbar." "Semantics," she said. Agents closed in. The crowd clapped, still thinking it was street theater. But then we heard it. "We've got movement." 2 cartel scouts bolted toward the camper. One reached inside his jacket. "Go loud," I shouted. Everything exploded into chaos. Agents tackled one scout. Another got tasered. Children screamed. Families scattered. Beach balls bounced across security lines. Brenda shrieked, "Are they with you too?" Within 20 minutes, the carnival was cleared. The camper sealed. Brenda cuffed and in a holding cell. Her smugness? Gone. Back at the command center, I reviewed the aftermath. Flamingos, glitter, salsa stains on biometric pads, a granola bar jammed into a retinal scanner. One USB drive had been removed, plugged into Tanya's laptop to check for music. That single act triggered a digital ping in Central America at a known cartel communications node. The breach was confirmed. Brenda was interrogated. "I thought it was abandoned," she said. We stared at her. "You broke a lock. It was rusted." "Do you know what Schedule 2 means?" I asked. "Is that like some kind of weight loss thing?" Her answers kept getting worse. She was charged with theft of government property, unauthorized access to federal systems, reckless endangerment, and a list of felonies that made the judge sigh twice before reading them aloud. "I just wanted a vacation," Brenda said. Her trial was swift. The jury didn't need long. They'd seen the live streams, the spilled narcotics, the wine glass next to a microscope, the forensic station used as a footrest. Her defense? I thought it was aesthetic. The verdict? Guilty on all counts. 7 years, eligible for parole after 5. As she was led away, she shouted, "I know the mayor." No one cared. Online, Escalation. Her mugshot became a meme. From HOA queen to federal scene, Reddit dubbed her the Margarita Mole. But here's the twist. It wasn't all bad. Brenda's chaos, her stupidity, accidentally triggered something much bigger. The USB activity she caused helped us expose a major cartel communications cell. With the recovered intel, we took down 10 operatives across 3 cities. Major supply lines shut down. Networks disbanded. Ironically, Tom, Brenda had delivered the final key. I was promoted. Lead mobile ops supervisor. My new surveillance lab, camouflaged as a pest control van. Because when you've seen what HOA drama can do, you don't take chances. Months later, I took a slow drive through my old neighborhood. Lark's Estates, the place where it all began. Brenda's house, new owners, no flamingos, no garden parties, just a quiet couple grilling in peace under a string of lights. The lawn, trimmed. The camper gate, reinforced with steel and discreet aerial drones. Everything finally normal. I smiled. For a second, I almost missed the chaos. Almost. Because sometimes the line between HOA headaches and national threats is just one entitled neighbor away. And in the end, Brenda's vacation didn't just crash a mobile lab. She crashed straight into federal history. All because she wanted margaritas with a view. This has been Karen Took My Camper, but it was a DEA mobile lab. Exclusively on HOA Karen Central. If you enjoyed this wild ride of entitlement, espionage, and flamingos in federal zones, smash that like button. Drop a comment. What would you have done if you were the undercover agent? Hit subscribe for more true HOA horror stories, courtroom chaos, and justice served cold. Because at HOA Karen Central, we don't just tell stories. We expose the neighborhood madness. Stay entitled, friends, but never federal.